Assalamualaikum and very good day. So welcome back to C++ computer programming. The topic that we are going to cover today is function. So let me share my screen. All right. Is this the one? Not that one. Let's do the other one. This one. All right. This one. The other side. Okay. All right. So this is the lecture notes or the slide, and then that is go to the next one. So importance of function and what are the components, particularly how to declare and then define and then the call. So there's the first one will be declare, then define, and then call. So modular programming, breaking a program up into smaller. So that is one of the good things about it, is that when we do these kind of things, it will be much easier to manage, and yeah, that's obviously a good thing. So especially if the statements or things that needs to be done or calculated is repeated for different input. So in this case, it is much better to make the calculation, because maybe you have one calculation on top, and then you have some other things, and then you do the same calculation again with maybe different input. So this is basically repeating in a different ways. So that's why you kind of like outsourcing it, outsourcing the calculation work into another program. And that program is called the function. Actually, even the main program is a function. So like the main function. So, but basically, a function is a collection of statements to perform tests. So you can either do all the tests in the main program or main code, or you can have a lot of other codes to do it, and then pass it back to the main function. Right. So this is the situation. So usually on top of it, you have the main function which will coordinate all the other functions. Then following that, we have all other functions, function 2, 3, and 4. So even the main function will be the first function, function 1. And then you have function call inside the main function. You have the call statement. So in fact, you can have one main function, one main code to do all the things from top to the bottom. But believe me, it's not going to be efficient, especially if certain function needs to be done repeatedly. So your program will be very long and unnecessarily longer. Function call is needed, and there is a function definition statement that makes up a function. Function call is within the main function, and then actually there is also the declaration. So what is also important is how you name the function. So if the function is supposed to calculate maybe calculate power, so you can name your function power, or in Malay we call it kuasa, kuasa 2, kuasa 3, and so on. So so make the function name as clear as possible, so that the people see it, they know what it is probably going to do. So that's the situation, and make sure it is not something is similar to the built-in function, because in C++ there will be some built-in function, especially if you use CMAT. So CMAT, you're going to have like sine, cosine, tangent. So all those things, usually in small letters or lowercase letters. That's why for me, if you are creating your own function, give a name with capital, something capital. Maybe the first letter will be a capital letter or uppercase, and so on. Then you have the list of parameter. So it's like in mathematics, you have function f of x. So f is the name of the function, and x is the parameter. So x. And then you have the body, what exactly the statement is going to do, and then return type, data type of the value that function returns. All right, so data type is also very important in C++, so you have to do that, to declare that. Okay, so this is the basic stuff for the main function. So usually so basically this one, so that is the base of fundamental stuff. So yeah, make sure you have that. And pretty much for your other functions will look similar like this, but down below it. The function headers consist of function return type, like this integer, int, function name, function parameter list. So this is the main. Main is the function name, and function parameter is whatever is declared inside the parentheses. Okay. No semicolon. So at the end of this first row of the function, there is no semicolon. And then returns a value. The type of value must be indicated. So in this case, this is integer. There will be some function that do not return any value. So in that case, we put void inside over there. Void, like this function that is just going to print out this statement, monthly sales. Okay, just like that. Nothing much. So if I have this function, I want to create that function. So void or lowercase. In this case sensitive, void print head, print heading, then like that. And then you have the curly brackets, enter. Then this is just doing printing this statement, monthly sales, monthly sales, and then backslash, and we will return it to the next line. And then at the end, you have the semicolon. So this is the very easy function. I'm gonna copy this thing and put it up there. And then maybe here I need the semicolon. So this is the declaration part. If I don't do this, the program is going to swear at me. And this is declaration, function declaration, FCM declaration, declaration of independence. And this is the function definition, function definition. And lastly, we're going to have this copy this thing, copy, and this is this function calling. I guess over here I need the all right, let's see if I can save this thing. Something else. Okay. This is function stuff. Function part one. So over here, let's run this, compile and run. See if it likes it. So I think it likes it. So in this case, what it does is just to call this function, and that function is just printing this step, two letters or two words, monthly sales. That is it, nothing else. So that is very easy function. Okay, I hope you get the hang of it. So, but it needs three components. So this is called the function call. Function call. Okay, so three components for us to use the function. Okay. So to call a function, use the function name, and followed by so this is in the call function, followed by call function is the semicolon, and so on. Even the declaration also needs a semicolon, but in the definition, no semicolon. So main is automatically called when the program starts. So that's why it needs to be in the top. And then function can call other functions. So in fact, the main code is also a function. So like even the small function, can also call other functions. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Function prototypes. Use a function prototype similar to the heading of the function. Void. Place prototypes near top of the program. Program must include either prototype or full function definition before any call to the function, otherwise compiler error. While using prototypes, function definition can be placed in any order of the source file. Traditionally, main is first. So yeah, that's not go against that tradition, which is a great tradition. So you want to put the main on top, main function on top, because otherwise it'll go through all the other functions unnecessarily, because we want to only go through them when it is called. If I don't call this thing, I don't want to be going through it, just wasting my time. So this is one good example. Is calling these two function, first function and second function, and this is what it is doing. So the first function is just saying this. So we can also try this one, very easy one. So first, this is called the first. Yes, maybe just create a new one. Just copy this. This actually it's better for us to create the function first, and then do the copying. So here I'm gonna call it first, and then the second. So better to, because in the built-in functions, they will all use lowercase letters like sine, cosine. But for things that we create, I think it's better for us to just use something else, so that it's not, we should know that this is functions that we build ourselves. So I guess that would be a good way to do it. So in this next exercise, I'm not going to use this one. So instead of that, let's create this two more new functions. So I'm gonna copy that, paste here. So this is the first one. So let's say we are the first function is the first function. So that is first function, and then copy that down here for the second one, second function. The second. All right, that is all we need, but we have to call it. So here we just call first, like that, and then don't forget the semicolon, and then second. Okay, so you declare, you call, and then you define. So let's save this thing, compile and run. Okay, so if I switch it here, if I switch it over here, this one over up there. So I guess if I just compile and run, it will should switch the follow the new sequence. It should follow the new sequence. Okay, that should be straightforward. And you can also the scan pass value to a function at time of call. Okay, so you can have this thing square root. So square root should be a built-in function. So we do not have to create that function. It's already created by the developer of C++. So we just use that value. Okay, values passed to function are arguments. So this will be the arguments inside the bracket. So this input will be arguments, and variables in function that hold values passed as arguments are parameters. Okay. Variables in function that hold values passed as arguments are parameters. So these are both arguments and also parameters. So that can be a bit confusing. But I hope all this terminology is not confusing and should not be a big deal. Alternate name argument is actual argument, actual parameter, formal argument. Okay, but we can pretty much use them argument and parameters interchangeably. I guess if we take into when we are in the main and we take into what goes into the input, we can see it as the parameters, I guess. And then when we're in the context of the function, what goes into the parentheses is called the arguments, or vice versa. But for all for what it is worth, I guess they are similar. You can use it interchangeably as far as what I am concerned. Okay, but here, if you want to try square root, so you have to include CNAT because I don't think we want to create this thing. We can try that. So we declare integer AA equals 4, then comma BB equals 9 semicolon. Then you have integer C as you see equals square root SQRT of AA. Okay. Plus BB. BB. And we're gonna change the input here. So this should be like 3, 3, and 4. It's like let's try this Pythagoras stuff. And don't forget the semicolon. and maybe here you want to see the output. PC equals CC equals uh, CC. So this should be the situation. So let's compile and run. Okay, so that's Pythagoras. So in order for us to be able to use square root, we must use include CMAP. If I undo that, will it run? Still does. So yes, if I do that, okay, then compile that. So we will not be able to know what this function SPRP is all about, because I do not have this thing. So we do not have access to that function, that built-in function. So built-in functions you do not have to include over here. So they have not, you can access that folder if that is included. Okay. So I guess instead of just IO stream, if you have to do a lot of calculations, so I guess you might want to have, you might want to include CMAP. All right. Can also look into this void, even or odd. So this looks like something we create ourselves. So we want to create this thing. So let's try to create it with this thing, even or odd. So I'm gonna this one done is good. I guess can comment it out. That so let's try this even or odd. So you want to have the prototype. So that's also the terminology. Prototype is a declaration. And then this will be the definition. And then this will be the call. Okay, function call. Okay. The function call value of argument is copied into the parameter. So argument is copied into parameter when function is called. Okay, so argument becomes parameter. Function can have one parameter. So I guess when it is over here, we call it argument. When it is in the main, it's called the parameter. Okay, so for example, in here, so this is called the parameter, and over in the square root function, that will be the argument. There must be a data type listed in the prototype when you declare it, and an argument declaration in the function heading. This one for each parameter. Arguments will be promoted or demoted as necessary to match parameters. So when calling a function with multiple arguments, the number of arguments in the call must match the function prototype and definition. First argument will be copied into the first parameter, second, and so on, like this one. Okay, but before that, we want to do this even or odd. How do we do that? Okay. Even or odd. For example, even or odd function, even or odd. So we want to ask for a number, see out, enter a number, enter a number, integer number, and integer, enter an integer. Okay. Let's do this even and odd. Integer, semicolon, then what should we do? Cin, let's use this num, cin num, and maybe I have to integer num like that. Maybe that's one way. Can I put integer here? Yeah, let's do this. And then let's call even or odd. Even or odd, then with that number. Even or odd. So this is something we create, and this is the input. Don't forget the semicolon. So down here, I'm gonna copy this thing, this function, and make a new function. I guess I just Control V. So this one will be even or odd. Okay, but this one has an argument. So let me say just x. Or can put same thing, but I can also put xx. xx. So this thing needs some cut this thing out. Cut that thing out. So here need to do some determination. So I'm gonna use if statement. If statement if xx if xx that thing if xx xx and then use this modulus like divide to get the remainder. If I divide by 2, will it have will it be 0? If the remainder is 0, means it is even. Am I correct? If this is 0, I divide with that. So I'm going to use the curly bracket and then do this thing. So we are number, okay, input is the number of integer is even. Even Steven. Even. So that is the situation. Else copy this thing. Okay. This part. Does this make sense? So let's see if it will run as such. So this is our function definition. This is even or odd being called in the main, and we need a display. So I'm going to do is just copy this thing, paste over there, and oh, I was copying the wrong thing. Copy this one, copy, paste over there, and here I need this one. So here I'm just gonna put integer int2. So let's see if this one will work. Okay. X void even things like that. So I have to define that as integer. That then it will work. Okay. Maybe up here you can also put integer. So it's kind of like this integer. And this is for the declaration, so just put integer. Okay, that one should fix the problem. Let's see. So when it gets to this black thing, I think it is good news. So let's try 0. Would that be so? 0 is considered as even. I don't know. Just run this thing again. So 7. 7 is odd. I'm beginning to like this thing. So let's say 21. So yeah, this is a very easy one. You should try it. So here we have an input, so you just have to declare whether it's a double or string or whatever. So that will be the function input. In the definition, or this is a declaration, that is or prototype function prototype. Okay. That's another name for it. You can also call it prototype. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, function call. This is the situation. When you call, you do not have to put the type because hopefully you have already declared the type before that, before the call. And then in the heading or in the definition, you can put the type. So this type thing is can be a bit confusing, unlike what we use in MATLAB. MATLAB is more, you don't have to worry about this type thing. Okay, so then go ahead and try this thing also. So we have two input. So we can try this thing, sum. We can, let's try to do this thing. So copy this thing, copy, and let's create this function called sum. Yeah, let's change this part. And here we have integer num1 and num2, integer num1, comma, integer num2. So we're gonna add them together. So this is function definition or heading, also called a function heading. So this whole thing is the definition, but the top one will be the function heading, and then we have to do. So here, it's not a void, so it's got to return some value. So this is of the double type. So here we do not print anything here, but we just do some serious calculation. So let's declare double and something called result. Some people call it result. What's your result? No. So the result is basically that's the addition of these two numbers. So num1 plus num2, num. Then you want to return. Here we have something to return. Send it back to the call. So don't forget the semicolon. So value is being called returned, and it's called result. Okay. Up here I'm gonna comment this out like that. And in this exercise, I'm gonna declare some input and number satu say 3.15. Okay. 3.15. So let me say this float, and then they need to be integer as well. Integer, forgot. So this one must be like 4. And then we have number 2. So say 8 or 9. So this is number 2. And then you do this thing sum. So it's called the sum. Make sure you have this thing. Just copy this thing. Copy that. Go over here. You can give a name, jumlah. Okay, so I want this to be a double. Jumlah yeah, yeah, this one. So inside here, so this one you want to call it as the parameter. So first parameter, number one. And the second parameter, then I'll say number two. So don't forget this one. And as usual, we want to see the output. See out uh, jumlah 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 adalah 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 ya, apa dia adalah jumlah. Okay, that's about it. EMDL semicolon. So let's see if this one will work. So this one's so that seems to be the problem. Sum was not declared. Sum was not declared. So this thing we need to copy it. Copy, bring all the way up here, and then paste it. So in this situation, this will be the prototype. Get type sum blah blah blah. Yes, we can do that. Let's see if that satisfies the requirement. Okay, don't forget the semicolon here. Semicolon and done. So here with 4 and 9, so the addition will give the summation of 13. Summation will give you 13 as the answer. 4 plus 9. So that is the situation. Then I guess the last one is bool. So we can have global stuff, and then global stuff defined before main, and then in the functions, you can just use that that information from the global stuff. So we can also have default arguments. Okay, so yeah, those are few other things. But let's do this thing. So this stuff we can And, what shall I do here? So now this next one, I just have to comment that out. The next one is valid. Number is valid. Number is valid. So I'll give this thing. So I can have this prototype thing and just copy that just and put in the top part here. So this is a tab called bool is valid. Integer is the input. Then this is the function definition. And copy on the screen all the way down here. Paste it. Okay. So we have this main so use big M, here. Min, and next. Or this min and max, I can also declare this maybe as constant. Copy this. So comment that out. So I'm gonna put this before here, maybe put it up there and paste it and declare it as a constant const. Okay, so this will be my value. That's num, min num, that's num. So down here, so I have to put num over there. So this one will refer to that constant that we declare even before the main function. Okay. So return true or false. So true or false. Okay. So this is another way. We can do it another way, like equals to some value, like return a value 1 or 2. But here is another way. So then in the call, in the main, so I can just copy this thing, so paste that, score. Want to ask for the score, so maybe see out enter a score, the score from your DITG test. A big test is coming up after you come back from the test, from the break. So you guys are very excited. So maybe just a semicolon over there. Okay, and then let's see in that value as score. This integer score, hopefully it's an integer. So integer value and score. That's about it. So what will this thing do? So I'll do Z. Okay, I don't know why this is like that. So I'm gonna and what will this thing do? So let's say it is valid. If this is meaning is valid, check if this thing is correct. It's valid. It will be 1. See out valid score. This is a valid score within the range. Within range. LDL. Okay. Else, yes, I can just put semicolon there and copy invalid. So this is beyond the range. All right, so let's save this thing and try to compile and run. So it doesn't like that. So maybe I'm gonna need to over there. Delete this part. So let's see if it likes it now. It does. Enter score. So hopefully you get 106 invalid score. Okay. So if I run it again, then run button here. So if I put 95, that is good. So the run button here. Fine with this one. So do that. Profile, delete, rebuild, compile and run. So let's run. So this one say 56 within range. Run it again. Say put a negative 65 beyond range. Okay, so yep, that is the situation. So you might want to try this thing. So here I put the constant value up outside there. Functions is a manual driven, created in memory, blah blah blah, global variables. Yeah, just global variables are initialized to 0 or null, and the variable is defined. Initializing local and global variables. Okay, so yeah, maybe certain situation you might want to have something that is defined only inside the function itself. So, so meaning if it is outside that function, the program would not know. Okay. So where you define the value is also very important. Here, like in this example, sample program 6-19, so you have all these grades as constant, just like when I declared min number and min num and also max num. So we can do that. All these things will be used, can be used in the main function or any other function. Can refer to this variable as defined as the constant. Okay, so in all the other variables, I can just use it without defining what is the base hour or the pay rate and multiplier. So all those things have been defined on top, way on top of the programming code. Okay, so default arguments, I guess before we end this topic about default arguments. So must be a constant declared in prototype. Okay, so if you pass nothing, so automatically a parameter is going to be used, like 0. So integer equals 0 will be the default value if you forget to put that the input. So you declare this in the prototype. Multi-parameter function may have default arguments for some or all of them. In this case, we get this thing, get sum. The first one, you need to give some input. The second input, the third, you might just leave it as 0 if nothing else is being passed as the input. Okay, and this is one another example. So in the prototype, we declare integer of 10 and 1. So you might want to try this thing. So this is the if I put get sum, this is some of do's and don'ts. So you might want to try this exercise as well. So if I do not put in any value here, just a blank parenthesis. So it will have two values, default values 10 and 1. And if I have input just 1, so this one will be value for rows. Okay, so the first value, and the column will be use 1 for the column. Whereas the last one, I put in 7 and 3. So meaning I have both values for the parameters. So instead of using 10 and 1, we'll use 7 and 3. 7 columns and 3 rows. Okay, So you might want to try this also, so then maybe before we end, we can make this exercise. Yeah, yeah. So here, display stars. Okay, I'm gonna call row columns. Rows column, row column. Let's call this row column, row column, row. Okay, okay, so I'm gonna copy this one. Very just create a very easy function. Let's call it row column, rows column, row column, row column, row and columns, row and column, or columns and row, full row. Okay, that doesn't matter, I guess. So here, I guess will be integer, uh, columns and rows. So usually the columns first. Columns, call, and integer row, rows, column. Okay, so what we will do is spit out the, the values of rows, column first, number of column, number of columns is okay. Then columns, maybe COL, column, see the big R there. Okay, then maybe that the NDL, copy that, is number of rows, ROW, rows. Okay, so that is all this thing will do. So I'm gonna copy this thing and put all the way up there for the prototype. Don't forget the semicolon. And this one I wanna give a default value of 10, and this one default value of 1, or maybe 2. Or maybe make it 1. So let's put the call inside here. So we have to try you can try display value. Oh, for this one, okay, roll call, just like that, and then I'm gonna do this thing, cout endl. So that's the first one. So I'm gonna copy this thing, see if we can get that. Copy this thing, paste it here, just put in 5. Then the next one, 7 and 2, 7 and 3. See if this thing works. 7, comma 3. We save this thing, compile and run. So the first one, column is 10, so it's just using the default values. The second one, I only have one input, so it's gonna be like this. And then the third one is that. Actually, I want to try and learn one more thing. What if I have comma 4? Okay, what will we get? So it doesn't like that. So I can ignore the first one, but not the. I cannot ignore the first one. So if I have input, must have one input for the. So the first one cannot be left blank. Cannot be, or maybe I need space. But I don't know. So it still doesn't like that. So I cannot do that. Can ignore the second one, but not the first one. So, yep, that is the situation. That is the situation. Okay, Thomas. I guess that's about it for this lecture. We'll talk more in the next one on the continuation about function. Maybe we'll see on some more interesting uh, interesting examples or some examples, maybe more related to engineering rather than this stuff. Okay. So this one says get some so the first one must always be, you must have input. You must have input. Okay. Second and so on, you can have default values. So this one, only the middle part has input is not permissible. Yep. All right. So that is all. I wanna share this time around. So I hope you learned something about function here, and I'll see you in the next video. We continue this discussion about function, and I guess in engineering, I'm gonna use a lot of this function. We can create a lot of functions to help us in our calculation, engineering calculation. With that, you guys have a great day. Assalamu alaikum.